Hi, Andrew here from Socket & See. In this video we're going to be looking at the electrical safety tests and safe isolation process on this boiler. Before we even touch the boiler, I'm going to do a safe to touch test. For this I'm going to use the Socket & See VVD Pro non-contact voltage detector. I'll prove its operation on the SP400 proving unit. Now I know that operates correctly, do a quick sweep of the boiler chassis and any extraneous metalwork, including pipes. And then finally, prove the operation of the non-contact voltage detector again. Now I know it's safe to touch the boiler. Now we're going to do the essential electrical safety checks on the boiler. For this I'm using the Socket & See PDL234. This is a live test, so I'm making sure I've got my fuse test leads with GS38 prod tips and finger guards. I'll connect to the chassis of the boiler with the Earth Pro. I'll then go in at the incoming neutral, then the live. The PDL will test automatically, telling us the wiring condition is correct. It will tell us that the incoming voltage is correct. I'll then place my finger over the polarity pad. This tells me the meter tails are the right orientation. Then I'll press the loop test. This does a no trip loop test, and it's telling me that the earth loop impedance is less than 1 ohm. So we're happy with the essential electrical checks. For the essential electrical safety checks, I'm going to use the Socket & See DLM Pro. I'm going to do an earth loop impedance test, so I can select it straight to loop on the rotary dial. We notice it's a blue setting, so I'm using the blue terminals on the top. Use the magnetic strap to hold the meter in place. This frees up my hands for the test prods. This is a live test, so I'm taking care that I've got GS38 compliant test prods with only 4mm of prod exposed and finger guards. I'm going to connect the earth clip to the chassis. I'm then going to connect to the incoming neutral and then incoming live. The DLM Pro does a no trip earth loop impedance test. Note its hands-free operation, it goes straight into the test. It's given me a reading of 0.5 ohms and a good indication, so I know the earth loop impedance is within tolerance. Now I've carried out the essential electrical safety checks on the boiler, I'm going to go through the safe isolation process. I've removed the fuse from the fuse spur and I've fitted the fuse lock, so even if I need to go back to the van to get some tools, no one can re-energise the boiler. We've carried out the lockout tagout on the fuse spur. Now we need to go through the safe isolation process. For this I'm using the Socket & See SP400 proving unit and the Socket & See VIP150 voltage indicator. So first off, we need to prove operation of the voltage indicator throughout its entire range. Now we've proved that's working, we're going to do the 3 checks from earth to live, neutral to live, then earth to neutral. We've got no indication on any of those, so we can assume that it's safely isolated, but then we must prove operation of the voltage indicator again. That operates through the entire range, so we know that we are safely isolated and we can now work on the boiler safely.